It's a scorcher out, so head into Ramsey Trading to keep you cool. Fujitsu split system air conditioner, 2 horsepower, will cool the largest rooms. Infrared remote, $1,799. NEC refrigerated air conditioner, 2 horsepower, $888. Cold drinks are on hand with this Hoover 480-litre frost-free 2-door refrigerator, $1,199. That's a saving of $250. With every major purchase from Fisher & Paykel, you'll receive this action chair free. Very cool. Ramsey Trading Whyalla, where the best advice and service won't cost more.
Warner's Day-Night Pharmacy, taking care of you this summer. Warner's Day-Night Pharmacy, open every day of the year, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Mr. Sampras, you know why you're here, don't you?
I kind of don't.
We'll fix that. Let's see. Go up to the umpire. You say, you were wrong.
You were wrong.
Swat a few balls, throw a few rackets. The ball was in.
The ball was in.
I'm incompetent. Yell at me. Say tomato. Or 2. And eat your pizza the wrong way. Crust first.
Why didn't you say so?
Introducing Pizza Hut's new stuffed crust pizza with cheese baked into a great new crust.
2 at once.
I've created a monster.
New stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut.
Discover a shopping district in regional South Australia where you'll always get a friendly smile and helpful hand. The prices are always competitive and you're assured of picking up a bargain. Discover Whyalla City Plaza, the people's place. If you live in Whyalla or out of town, Whyalla City Plaza is a great place to shop. And just 2 minutes away, you can explore and experience Whyalla's magnificent foreshore. From leisure to shopping, Whyalla City Plaza has it all. Whyalla City Plaza, the people's place. You'll love it even more.
Thanks for making my album Blue such a big hit.
Leanne Rimes is the hottest new name in music. Her album Blue features the smash hits Blue, Hurt Me, and the new single One-Way Ticket. See Leanne live in Australia in March '97. Leanne Rimes, a name to remember, a voice you won't forget.
Few television events could ignite the interest of Australian viewers like Witness.
We are still going to have to live here.
With the great stories you want told.
The legacy of corruption.
The faces you want to see. The people you want to meet.
You are so sexy.
From the critical praise of a successful first year.
It's coming back.
Now the program everyone is talking about is back.
The most powerful warship in the world.
Paul Barry and the team from Witness, returning 9:30 Tuesday on Central Television.
6 goals to 2 in the quarter from Carlton, and the D's with the job ahead of them in the last quarter. And don't forget, from 7 Sports calendar, big cricket coming up. The first test from Johannesburg. It commences on the 28th of February. Check your local guide for details of our live coverage on 7 Sport. Neil Dahm predictably having plenty to say at 3/4 time.
Well, we don't have to just all of a sudden play ring-a-ring-a-rosy and not go forward. We need to sit down there and know what I'm giving to him. We go back, forward, handball, and the bloke standing still. We've forgotten how to do it. Early we're okay. All of a sudden we're all looking to get possessions. I don't know what we're looking to get. Right, so just get back to the way you know how to play.
And one of the points he made was get to the ball first. Let's go to Russell Morris on the boundary.
Yes, Peter, look, a lot of praise must be given to Anthony Koutafidis, obviously kicking 2 goals that quarter. Koutafidis, he's 24 years old, been under a lot of pressure. He's a bit of the glamour boy for Carlton, signed up by Adidas during the year, but also doing current affairs shows, having to perform, and the way he performed that 3rd quarter was admirable. He's a champion footballer and a big chance for the Brownlow this year if he keeps that form up. Also, an important note, Peter Dean coming on in that 3rd term to replace Stephen Kernahan. Didn't get a lot of kicks, but a lot of hard work around the ball, tackling, smothering. 33 years old, and if Peter Dean can keep that up during the year, great effort for Carlton.
Thanks, Russell. You can see the women's lightship above Waverley Park here tonight, bringing us some fantastic shots of the action in the 5th match of the Ansett Australia Cup. And that's from the lightship. And I was just saying to KB that if Koutafidis keeps up this form, he would be a chance for the Brownlows. So we had similar thoughts there. I think we all agree, though, Kev and Don, that the D's have got a pretty tough task ahead of them here if they're to get back.
Very disappointing third term, Peter.
That's what Neil Baum had to say, basically, in a nutshell. Let's get to the ball first. Let's see if they can do it here. Viney, well, that's what he wanted. Quick kick out of the centre from Viney. Punch away by McKay. Hogg does the tidying up work for Carlton. Camporelli on centre wing. Kicks the half forward and Whittle, who kicked 2 goals in the 3rd quarter. The skull. He has kicked up Yilby Milhana. He was on in the 1st quarter, had a bit of a rest, and comes back and kicks a ripper goal to start the final term.
Ball coming from the back end of the square, that build-up. Milhana there, a credit to himself that he really did apply himself pre-season. There's a real question mark over his future at the end of last year. But he's trained very, very hard. Keen to wipe off last year's effort. It wasn't a good year for him, but he has been very, very good. And there's Darren Bennett watching his old team Melbourne, having a break from his American football duties.
He's to wear number 19.
Start with the San Diego Chargers. Camporelli, who along with Koutafidis has been an outstanding player tonight. Neil Baum at 3/4 time was talking about ring around a rosy football. He wants his side to be direct. You can see their key position players. David Neitz with just 1 kick. Ingerson at centre half forward with just 3. So they've fallen down in the key position. Places tonight. Steins in the centre square. It's a hurried kick. Sexton. Pretty hard to beat Sexton. He is a tremendous defender. All Australian. This takes the ball towards the boundary line, taken by Uze. Did well to keep it in. Smith, been in defence now up on the forward line. Farmer, it's kicked a goal. Back to Matthew Phoebe. Rubs the ball along the ground. Silvani playing in front. Plenty of support from Hamill. Been a feature of Carlton's play for the last few years. Their defence so strong. Allen, fine player tonight. David Park can be pretty happy with his performance. There's a chance for Leon Chally. He's got Manton to beat. He worried him out of it. The ball's just forced back over the line.
You raised an interesting point there, KB. How is he going to use Allen and Matt? Will he on and off the ground? Or?
Well, no, he won't, Peter. If Allen can maintain this form, he'll go with Allen.
Well, he played 19 games last year, but he was mainly a second stringer to Justin Matt, wasn't he?
They're looking for mobility around the ground, Carlton, and Allen certainly is giving it to them tonight. Whether he can maintain, because his form has been fairly ordinary up today.
8 marks tonight and 14 possessions. Nettlebeck just pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Sexton has held Ingerson to just 3 kicks. Tapped on by Lovett to Glenn. McKay.
They're so strong, Carl.
Back to Christou. The hurried high ball. Allen does well, makes a contest of it at ground level. O'Brien has kicked a goal. Had the first half on the interchange. Viney caught. Koutafidis just shovels the ball out. Camporelli once more thumps the ball back towards front edge of the centre square, and Manton takes the mark. Here comes the runners. Milhana on 50. 50 metres out. Big Mill goes bomb. Off target.
Well done to Milhana.
So Gaspar favours the member side. He's got a loose player in Jimmy Steins. Haven't been able to get the ball quickly enough into their forward line, Melbourne. Nettlebeck. Pounced on by Uze. Draws the ball to Ingerson. One-on-one contest with Sexton. Christou with skill. Back to Sexton. Sets it up to Beaumont, who's been a very promising player tonight. 17 possessions and 7 marks as well. Nettlebeck goes short.
That good, Beaumont.
So the D's go forward again. McDonald. Again, Carlton with the numbers. And that's been the case pretty well most of the night. Lovett looking for someone more in hope than anything else. His namesake might get a chance. He has a snap. Won't quite get the distance. Neitz is there. DiIulio will rush it through for a behind.
Those two-out contests are really tough, Peter. I mean, the umpire, I'm sure, saw that there was holding going on, but really must have determined that it was both players doing it, so called play on. But they're a real feature of the game, and I hope it continues.
Silvani's hurt himself too. Behind screen, we can see him limping away from that contest.
33 points the difference. Christo's kick up towards centre wing. Chance for Uze. There's a whistle on play. Free kick. Now the advantage rule is played. Manton, who's been pretty good tonight, was named as a possible interchange, but certainly be included in one of Carlton's best, and great to see Matthew Hogg displaying some of his best form as well. Hogg's kick out wide. Camporelli again. Oh, beautiful pass to the veteran. And Peter Dean. They go through a whole box of bandages on him, I think. He's taken a beaut mark. Murphy has made a lead. The gloves on, bandages on both elbows.
2 metres on the mark.
Has he kicked it like a defender? No, sirree, he has not. He has popped it through for a goal. And that's rubbing salt into the wounds.
A hard position to play centre half forward. He came on replacing Kernahan in the third quarter. But he's aided on that occasion by a good kick from Manton, whether I hope it was intentional, across to Hogg, and Hogg immediately took it across the ground. And it was an excellent kick by Dean. You can see they're very happy.
I think he got a kick in the shin, Don.
Looks like it, Pete. He seems to be favouring that left shin or ankle.
Carlton led by a point at quarter time, 6 points at half time, 29 points at three-quarter time, now by 41 points. Jimmy Steins. A battle all night with Matthew Allen.
It's been the battle of the night, hasn't it, Kev?
Yes, they've had a terrific duel, but Allen has been very impressive tonight. Jimmy Steins, of course, 218 games consecutively in league football, a record, still going strong. McDonald to Obst, inside the centre square, smothered. White gets the ball back to Camporelli. He's been great tonight. It's a floater. Whitnall's got a chance to kick his third. Caught. Gaspar. Long terra firma. Back to Leoncelli. Hopgood pops it up to McDonald.
Been impressive, McDonald.
Inside the defensive 50. It's a high ball. It's a tough one for Lovett. Big fist away. He had to beat Christou and also Koutafidis. Hamill overruns the ball. Ball just trickles once more over the line. So Melbourne making hard work of it, trying to force the ball around the boundary line. And a bit of a distressed Neil Baum. Not happy with what he's seen since half-time. Pretty happy with their first half, but they've been pretty poor in this third and fourth term so far.
Well, we saw a stat midway through the third quarter. It was 25 kicks to 9 in the third term. That summed up the way they were going. Neatz at the back. Hasn't had a great night. DiIulio sees the ball safely over the line in front of Glenn Lovett, so it will be thrown back into play on the outer side. Has been a good crowd tonight. Fifth match in the series. Brad Pearce there. Blues fans would love to see him get back into some of his good form, which he displayed a couple of seasons back. Allen and Steins, as I said, one of the duels of the night. You won't see Jimmy Steins throwing the towel at all. Lovett gets the hand pass away. Now at last, Sean Smith on the burst now. He started in defence. He's been moved up to the forward line, where, of course, he took Mark of the Year a couple of seasons back at the Gabba.
Well, he started his career at Melbourne as a forward, went down back last year with a lot of success. As Peter mentioned, he took the Mark of the Year a couple of years ago. He's got a great leap.
Formerly at North Melbourne. Phoebe, the kicker that got the play to him. What's the goal umpire going to indicate here? It's a goal. The way he ran across, I thought it might have been just wide of the upright, but it was through.
Not much of a reaction there from those dejected Melbourne fans. They realise the game's over as far as they're concerned. Been a little disappointing because they started so well, Melbourne. Very enthusiastic. Their tackling was good. Just couldn't capitalise on the scoreboard. Smith lining up for his first for the night, having started down back.
side, 35 points. Then sticks Kernahan, warming up on the boundary. Dines wins the tap. McDonald couldn't take it. Obst in the centre square.
Here the umpire called the free kick, tackled without having the footy, so big cut.
Donald to Nettlebeck. Up towards Neitz, and he's got the free kick.
Well, the umpire right there to pay that.
In a tough night, one kick, one mark and one handball. 14,043 tonight. The Carlton play some magnificent football since half-time. So Neitz, All-Australian, 56 goals last year for Melbourne.
Beautiful kick to over distances. Kernahan comes on for Carlton, Manton off as Leeds lines up.
Carried the workload last year with no Gary Lyon and Schwartz. Right on 50. Distance won't be a worry. And he's kicked a great goal.
He has got a magnificent kicking style for goal. When a youngster who's still up, just watch this on replay if we can get it. It's just a magnificent kicking style. Watch this. Caught knee, he just jumps into the ball. That's beautiful. Look at that. Excellent follows. Everything's just perfect.
2 kicks for 2 goals.
I'm just going to say the same thing, Kev. He's made the most of his opportunities. 2 kicks, 2 goals. They'd love a lot more out of him, but playing on the full back of the century, Steve Silvani. A controversial selection. 56 to 85. So Melbourne looking for some, well, we'll say respectability. Uze dragged. Ball hits the carpet. And the umpire will bounce it again. Steve Kernahan looking for another kick. He's only had 1. If you said that Kernahan and Neitz would have 3 kicks between them to halfway through the last quarter, you'd call the police, wouldn't you? That's the way it is. Another bounce. Camporelli missed it. He's made too many mistakes tonight. Uze almost kicked it halfway up his shin. Glenn Lovett. Nettlebeck. Nettlebeck's kick towards left half forward. This has been the case most of the night. Carlton with numbers. Lovett from Neitz. Dean. You have to say he can play anywhere now. Centre half back, centre half forward after that great goal. Ronnie Diulio mopping up in the back pocket. I'd like to cement that position. Murphy kicked a goal just before half-time, and Carlton really haven't looked back since then. Koutafidis here a little bit blonder this year, which well, won't go unnoticed as far as the umpires are concerned. Diulio gives it back to him. And that's when you come into Brownlow contention.
Good smother by Woden then. Just a youngster. Came on in the second term. Neil Baum certainly, Don, would be pleased to see the youngster.
I thought he's
smothering that ball.
Yeah, my word, I think he's been impressive as well. There's a couple of pluses for Melbourne with the younger players this year, McDonald and so well Woden.
And Russell Morris tells us that Steve Silvani has come off the ground and gone straight up the race, and we'll have some news on that shortly, but he seemed to be okay. We did notice him limping earlier. I think he got a kick in the shin. 56 to 85. We've got 6.5 minutes to go on the tour.
She sits the ball back over the line. Anthony Koutafidis has booted 3 goals. 2 goals to Lance Whitnell, also to Justin Murphy. 2 goals all coming in that second term. And David Neitz is the only multiple goal kicker for Melbourne with 2 goals. 1 in the second quarter and 1 in this final term. Allen, who has just shaded Jimmy Steins tonight. It's all tied up on centre wing. Hyman with the ball. We see young Tony Burke about to come on.
Come on now, Radford, man.
His first run tonight from the Ballarat under-18s. Oh, it's time for the youngster to come on. Steins wins the tap. Hopgood. Hops try to crash his way through. Matthew Phoebe successful. Here's McDonald. Runs inside 50. That's better play by Melbourne. Good goal.
Yes, good running, aggressive running. Also a direct kick for goal. That's something that Neil Baum was looking for. They've finally done it, Melbourne. McDonald has been very, very impressive. On the reserves, best and fairest last year. As I mentioned earlier, he was on the sub list. He couldn't have played senior football because of that fact. However, his form warranted him being elevated to the senior team, but because of the sub list thing, just could not do it. But he's been very impressive tonight.
7-5 to Anthony McDonald, so it hasn't been a bad display from him. 13-7 to 9-8. So Melbourne's score looking a little bit better, but they've left it too late. Well, you would think. 6 minutes still to go. I suppose it's not impossible. The way football's played these days, they've certainly attacked the ball with a lot more endeavour in the last quarter. And they may come forward again. Here's a chance once more for McDonald. Centering kick, marking contest, there's a whistle. Melbourne free.
Pushing the back's been signalled, Peter.
So Neeks, who as Kev pointed out earlier, 2 goals from 2 kicks. Can he make it 3 from 3? Then things would be a little bit more interesting. Let's see it again.
Yeah, if there was a push, it was obviously before the camera hit the scene, but certainly from the camera angle, it didn't look as though the player was pushed out of the contest.
As Don pointed out, he's a great kick distance-wise. He's pulled this one a little bit, though, and only one behind. Well, they really did need that one if they were to have any chance of pinching this game from Carlton. So one behind to David Neitz. Allen off the ground after a magnificent effort. 9-9 to 13-7. And Mickey McGuan, an interested onlooker, to play a first official game for the Blues. Kouta-Feedy's the flyer from the back. Ops gives chase. Kouta gets on his bike pretty quickly. Kicks towards left half forward. Milhana takes the mark in front of Leon Cherry. It's a pretty good touch too, Mill. Missed a lot of footy last year, the early part of the season, and of course the pre-season. Hand pass from Anstey. Carlton looking the goods. The answer may be there. Off target and one behind. 9-9 to 13-8. Brett Ratton about to come on, or come back on. He's been on before. There's Bugsy Compton standing next to him. Hopgood, likewise for Melbourne, started on the bench. He's going back across goal. It can be pretty dangerous. Lamprell. Well, what were Neil Baum's words? Ring a Rosie. Leon Cherry. Now back to Lamprell. Lamprell's kick is a little bit longer. He's kicked it towards centre wing. Good marker Gaspar, who tries to play on. Phoebe. Twin brothers sitting on the bench. Kernahan. Hogg grabbed, lost it. Ball paddled out the back of the pack. 3 Carlton players are there. Murphy is one of them. Tries to get it to a teammate. Not successful. And almost an ugly pack developing there. Right on the AFL logo. It's going to be a ball.
Pete, you actually called it that Matthew Hogg was grabbed. The arm was in front of him, and Hoggy actually grabbed the tackler's arm to make it look as though he was being grabbed. He wasn't being grabbed at all. He just wanted to make it look as though he was.
Well, he fooled me.
They're professional footballers, there's no doubt about that.
Young Burke against Steins. Obst. Centre wing. Scrubby old kick. DeLulio. Couldn't quite take it. Sexton. A rare mistake. Lands back in his arms. Comes away. He'll set it up. Kouta-Feedy's first error for the night. The hero of Princes Park. Thumps the ball inside 50. Dean in front. Leon Cherry. He'll need support. Nettlebeck. Anstey.
It was a classic example there of forwards putting pressure on. You saw Kernahan applying that tackle, causing the turnover and not allowing Melbourne to move the ball from defence as Ratton comes back on. Let's hope he's all right, Scott Caporelli.
And Boreali has been a tremendous player for Carlton tonight, along with Kouta-Feedy's. Their best 2 players. Kernahan over the back. Anstey. Quick snap. Love it. Loose player is Hopgood. Melbourne trying to run the ball out of defence. Neil Baum wanted them to be more direct, or thumped back by Christou. Matthew Phoebe battled hard across half-back, but the kick's a shocker. Oh. Out of bounds on the full.
Right there, Adam. That's it.
21 possessions tonight to Matthew Phoebe.
Go, Willie!
And Christou will kick this ball long. Into Kernahan territory, pushing and shoving. Hannah. Can't take it on the 3rd grab. Phoebe over the top of the ball.
Come on, guys.
The ball up some 55 metres out from Carlton's goal. Stephen Silvani in the dugout there with Peter Shockman, their fitness advisor.
I think he'd be okay. I don't think there's too much wrong with Sauce. Steins and Burke. Phoebe got collected by Sticks. He's okay. Love it. Backs into the pack. Sticks has got him as well. And again, the umpire's going to bounce it. So the last couple of minutes of the match now, 2.5 minutes to go. Russell Morris has some news on Steve Silvani. What is the situation, Russ?
Yes, Peter. Look, I think Donny Scott got it right. He got a kick in the leg, so just for precautionary measures, he was dragged off the field because, again, being an ansett cut match, they've got to get it right for the proper season. And Scott Camporeale, he was cramping, so I think they're just going to try and rub the muscles and loosen them up a bit. So they're both okay.
Ratton finally gets a kick out of that rather ugly pack intended for Whitnell. Hannah tried to keep it in. Oh, it stops right on the line. Half of it went out. That might be out on the full, is it? No. He'll throw half of it in. It's in the forward pocket. Let's see the ball right on the line. Hannah has a ping at it. It stops. Gasper comes at him. Now the ball, well, 3/4 of it was out.
Well, as we know, the ball's got to be completely over the line, Peter, so you couldn't get any closer than that one.
3/4 of a Big Mac was over the line. So it's a throw-in. Now it's a point on the other side of the post. Leon Shelley trots after it.
Interesting watching Melbourne again. They really do go wide. The players sit on the boundary line. We saw one earlier where Gasper miskicked and it went over the boundary line on the full.
Pyman to Hopgood as the D's run it up towards centre wing. Flyer in the front. It's Christou. Comes out the back to McDonald. Centering kick from him. Sexton's after it. So too is McKay. And that's another point. So further behind to Carlton, to Melbourne. I mentioned McDonald's stats before. Hasn't had a bad night. Now 9 and 5. He's taken 4 marks. Kernahan makes a lead. Unusual spot for him to be, but it's Ange Christou, the recipient of the kick-in. Kicks it back again to Roddy DiIulio. Just inside his own defensive 50-metre line. Dean goes down. Lovett, Obst, Anstey. Ball finally kicked out towards the edge of the square. McKay played only 15 games last year. Phoebe, Murphy, Beaumont. He's kicked towards half forward. The bounce beats them.
The bad part about Beaumont's game tonight has been his disposal. I mentioned that earlier. He certainly knows how to get the ball and he's very enthusiastic. That's Brett Lovett, or Glenn Lovett.
Gasper trots back to his position after that attempt to try to get the ball. Burke in front with the thigh pads on. Steins beats him. Dean.
See the difference with young Burke. He just hasn't got the body yet. He moves very well across the ground, quite fast, but just too light at this stage. Usually pushed off the ball by Steins.
Straight at it. Steins and Burke. Ratton. Down to Beaumont. Breaking left foot kick inside 50. Koutafidis, was he held? No free kick paid against Woden. Obst. It's a hurried kick and he finds Todd Viney.
Let him go, Brent, let him go.
Back half of the centre square.
That's it, Brent, that's it, that's it, that's it.
They go wide, the D's. By Woden. Gone backwards.
Right again.
Too short to Phoebe. 3 possessions, but kicking it from the same spot. And young Burke chips in and takes a good mark right on the siren. So a very impressive win for Carlton. 13-9-87 to Melbourne's 9-10-64. I think it's fair to say, Don, that after half-time, Carlton completely dominated the game.
Well, they did. They busted it open early, Kevin, in the third quarter. They just simply dominated on the board, on the stats. They, just cleaned Melbourne right up. And Melbourne were just forced to play catch-up football, and when you're in that situation, nothing offers. They go around in circles, and Melbourne weren't direct in their approach to goal, but Carlton, a very professional unit, once again, very strong in the body, those guys, and they do back up and launch attacks from down the back.
Let's go down to Russell. He has with him Peter Dean.
Thanks, Peter Landy. Deanie, you started on the bench in the first half at old age, or just trying to give a few young kids a run?
You figure your imagination, Russell. We've got a lot of young guys putting in a really big pre-season, so yeah, no, giving them a go and letting us blokes get ready for the day season and throw us in an instant offence.
What sort of preparation have you had yourself? Like cotton wool, or have you been doing all the same things as all the other players?
I've twinged the hamstring a couple of times and missed a week. Done a week of rehab twice, so other than that, I've done nearly every session, so I'm feeling pretty good.
So you must be pretty confident. Some good young kids coming through, like Whitnell and even Tony Burke getting a run there. How are they faring during the summer season?
Yeah, good. Everyone's just had their heads down and working hard. And the boys are bulked up a little bit. The weights coach has been good. It's just a really good feeling around the club.
Is it good adding more pressure onto the older guys, having good young players through the club?
Certainly is. I love it. We'll probably bring a couple of years extra out of me, I reckon.
What about yourself? Are you taking a different role as far as like around the club with younger guys? Like, you don't not getting maybe a lot of kicks, but more the hard work and the inspiration around the club.
Yeah, well, I always try and help the young guys. I remember when I first came down, and I didn't get too much help because we had such a good side. But I love helping young blokes. I love seeing them come along. If I can help them, they might be able to help me on the ground.
Have you set yourself any goals this year for the number of games? Like, obviously, you set 20 games?
20 plus.
And what about Parko? Has he set any goals as far as getting in the finals first, or have you any talk about grand finals or anything like that?
We always aim at the top three.
Well done, Denny. Hope you do well this year.
Thanks, Russell.
Peter Dean, one of the stalwarts of the Carlton defence, and of course he capped off his work tonight with a beautiful goal, illustrating just the versatility needed to be an AFL player in 1997. So the Blues, who, as I mentioned in our opening tonight, have only won one night premiership, perhaps rather surprising, and that even includes the old days at the South Melbourne Lake Oval. But they've been runners-up in the competition here 3 times at Waverley, so they'll be certainly seeking to go just a little bit better in 1997. They got off to a good start, and the boys tucking into the refreshments down there, some watermelon, and I think I saw a few pies, and Don Scott's mouth is absolutely watering at the prospect.
A couple of the young players there, Don, we just saw Anstey showed a bit tonight, and White when he came on.
Yeah,
a lot of ability.
Yeah, my word there. Carlton had some real pluses. Yeah, White, he's very strong early. He's got a good body, and Beaumont, although we didn't see much of him last year because of his injuries, but he was impressive. His disposal to be improved. Hamill was one that also impressed me too. Tony Burke only came on at the end. Jacob Anstey, not a bad little fellow, but he's really still got to come to terms with it. But I suppose the pick of them was Whitnell. Showed a lot up forward as a 17-year-old, very mature.
Picked a couple of goals in that third term, but I suppose Matthew Allen is the interesting player for Carlton, because a lot of talk whether Justin Madden would be there this year, and it looks like that they're going to have a good look at Matthew Allen to see whether he can actually take over the mantle that Justin Madden's had for a long time. Justin, of course, will fight pretty hard to take it off him, Don, but he was quite impressive tonight.
Well, what Carlton are looking for is more mobility, and they certainly got that tonight out of Matthew Allen. I still believe that Madden is probably the best knock ruckman in the league, but he just can't get around the ground as Carlton would like. And there's the coach's box, and they're pondering the Melbourne coach's box. And he would certainly give them a great lot of hope, the coaching staff at Carlton, Matthew Allen, with his performance tonight.
So the Blues victorious by 23 points, advancing to the quarterfinals of the Ansett Australia Cup for 1997. And we've got some pretty big matches coming up, Don, over the next few days, and I think everybody's interested in the debut of Port Adelaide, just how they're going to go. And they take on Fremantle on Friday night at Football Park.
Will be an interesting one, and we go back to Adelaide's, well, I suppose when they introduced themselves to the AFL football, they did particularly well against Hawthorn that night in Adelaide. So it could be the same on Friday night.
Saturday, Sydney take on the Sydney Swans at the Bruce Stadium in Canberra. Sydney runners-up in the day competition last year. And, well, the Saints could be pretty hard to beat there. Of course, no Tony Lockett.
Well, that's right, but St Kilda, I think, should be up there around about this year. They've got those young fellows of a couple of years ago, and this game here will be a clinker over at Adelaide on Sunday night. Adelaide and Geelong.
Yes, that should be a beauty. And, of course, don't forget the first test, and you'll see it on 7. South Africa versus Australia, commencing on the 28th of February and Drew Morford Dennis Committee there. We'll say goodnight, Don, from Waverley Park.
Good night, Peter.
I got my scarf, got my old coat. I got a 40 game to go to. 40's on, 40's here again. Back to greet me like an old friend. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. I'll meet a friend outside the ground. We'll argue over who's gonna win. He'll go for his team, I for mine. We'll watch him slug it out right to the end. And show me the crowd and I'll take my place. I'm hungry for the taste of it. Well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what football means to me. That's how I like my footy to be. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about I got a long road to walk down to catch a tram to my favorite ground. Use my legs, use my voice, make some noise, support the boys. And that's what football means to me. That's how I like my footy to be. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football.
This has been a 7 Sports production.
This program brought to you by Warner's Daylight